Hi everybody, it's Christy. It is 7:58. It is almost 8 p.m. and 7 p.m. Central. So I'm popping on just a few minutes early because you all are joining our herd today. We are doing little golden book adventures and it's to do with journaling. So I am going to craft something for you tonight. We're gonna look at some other things that you could do with junk journaling. Hi, Michael. I loved your journal today. So listen, if you guys are not in this group, definitely join. I have been a member with the herd for quite some time now. I'm so honored to be asked to be in their event this week. I was so excited. So make sure you are following the group. It is free, and they have some amazing crafters that you may already know some of them. Hi, Nina. The description is in the live. So when I'm even done with this, you can even go back in and check out the prescriptions. I'm sorry, guys. I work for healthcare. You can look at the description. Hi, Mel. How are you? I'm really excited on this subject. I'm so honored to be asked, so thank you. So I'm waiting to be shared in, but we are going to have some fun tonight. You can't comment on your iPad. I've heard people have been having issues and I don't see all of my comments. So you guys, if I miss a comment, please comment again, try an emoji, or I always go back and watch my replays and watch and check out my messages. So if you have any questions or anything, just let me know. Hi, Miss Connie. It's been some time. Welcome on in. Hello, Susan. So welcome on in, everybody. It looks like it's 8 o'clock, so I'm good to go, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a couple of journals that I have made and some of the golden books that have been in my collection that I'm excited to make. And then we're going to craft one as well. So I'm just trying to make sure we have hopefully enough to get through the hour. So remember, up after me is Crafting Time with Jamie 2. I did put her description, I almost said it again. I did put her page name in the description as well. Hi, Robbie. Hello, Susan. And hello, Linda. Hi, everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much for sprinkling and opening the craft box. I appreciate that. You're here on your iPod pad. Well, that's what counts. Hi, Dory. And Dory is our caboose for tonight. I can't wait to see what she does. So, hello, Alyssa. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and I will try to comment as much as I can. Hello, Lucy. So I'm going to share with you, just because everybody has been doing a journal today, I'm doing something a little bit different, because if you know me and you follow me, I like to do a little different things. So hello, my sweet Regina. So this is a book this was actually my very first golden book junk journal. And I'm just going to do a really quick flip through to show you. I've learned some things, so I'll probably put this one for sale pretty cheap. But I also want to show you other things that I add to my junk journal, and I'm going to go ahead and just flip through. So this is a Finding Nemo junk journal, and I used a kind of a starfish type fabric that I found at Dollar Tree. So I like to use the ones that you can find at the thrift stores or consignment shops. You could even try the kids' consignment shops for books. Hello, Miss Sheila. You did amazing on your book. I love different, so I absolutely loved yours. Thank you for opening the craft box, Lucy. So I did keep my book intact, and I did add some bric-a-brac to this, as well as some kind of fancy yarn. I like to say fancy yarn, but it's just adds texture and interest. And there are some pages that have some other things like pockets. Now, I live in Florida, so this is our local aquarium here, the Florida Aquarium, and I just thought it kind of went with the theme, so I added a little bit of a brochure from them in here. Yes, you did finally catch me live. So I went ahead and added that in here. I'm going to try to go quick with this, because I know everybody's been showing their junk journals. And then I did put just kind of like these little cards in here. This has a little like coin envelope that you can get. You can actually get these from Dollar Tree. And then I added just a little piece of paper, and it has a little message on it. I know you can't read it. It says smile though, unless you read backwards. I think most of us are getting used to reading backwards now since they've started not being able to flip us, which is the only reason why I got an actual iPhone, but that's a whole nother story. This is places you can attach photos or tickets, whatever you want. Places to write. There is my middle piece where I sewed that. And then, of course, I did keep the whole story intact in here. I did do just some distressing. There's some more of that pretty yarn. I did have a tag in here. I'm probably going to work on that tag. Hi, Mary. Welcome on in. And then I just tried to, if you don't have double-sided scrapbook paper, you can still use that scrapbook paper, just double it up. Or you could actually stamp on the inside or put lettering. You can do whatever you want inside or make it into a pocket. We've done a lot of junk journaling. I usually do junk journaling on at least 2 Tuesdays a month. And it is kind of a new segment on my page. This is also because I'm in Florida, there's a lot of scuba diving, so I found this from my welcome center. You guys, if you're traveling this summer, if you're going on vacation, make sure you're stopping at that welcome center and getting all the little brochures and stuff you can, because you can put it together and make it look beautiful. Hi, Sandy. Welcome on in, Miss Sandy. Miss Grandma, the new grandma of the crew. There's a little tag in here. And then again, I did add just a little bit of the rickrack. This is for the other page of the scuba. And like I said, this was my first one. I added some Tim Holtz Distress ink and some stamps on this one. And this one is really cool. This is what I mean by the Welcome Center has really cool things. So this actually flips out, and there's already some activities that you could do on the inside. You're not late. I just started, Sandy. You're fine. I'm just so glad you're here. So now one thing I did want to show you, on the back of every junk journal that I do include a library card insert. You can find these on Amazon. Yes, you see Dolly Parton. I know, this is actually, there's 2 of these that I got a special order for. So I actually do put, I'm kind of the author of the book if I made it, so I put that. And then this way, the person that does the junk journaling, they can always write the date and the entry on if they went somewhere, or, you know, they can kind of log their junk journal if they don't put it on the page. So that's just one thing I do. Now, some of the books that I did get, my friend Sam from Graham's Rustic Farmhouse went antiquing recently, and she found me these Raggedy Ann and Andy books. They are super, super old because the price on these books makes me jealous. 69 cents and 39 cents. Hello. So I will be probably working with these. I'm going to kind of keep them just for right now. Dolly Parton, I actually found she was basically brand new. And I did get these for someone special. So I do want to reiterate, if you do not want to cut up a brand new one, you could use the used ones that you find at the thrift store. I do want to let all of you know, because I know some people are like, oh, don't destroy books. It is okay, because it's kind of more of a personal opinion, but the way I see it is there's so much that goes into our landfills, and if we are repurposing somebody's art, somebody drew this. I mean, hello, every book, every kid's book that we see, there's an illustrator and an artist behind it. And if we are repurposing that, we are actually giving a whole new meaning to their artwork and kind of honoring them. So that's the way I look at it. But everybody has their own personal opinions. So those are just the ones. And then if we have time, I'll show you the one that I made for my daughter for her birthday, because I did borrow it from her. I already gave it to her. So part of this actual junk journal is a junk journal charm that I made. I actually make these. I've made these on live before. This just kind of makes your journals nice and fun. And I just kind of put them on different strings. Great logic. Thank you, Sandy. I try. And then I actually found a little Nemo. You guys might recognize that. And it goes with the book. So I try to do like little junk journal charms that kind of go with the book. And I just think it's a really fun way to keep you motivated. And then it's a placeholder for wherever you are if you are using them. Does some people just make them for themselves, some people make them to sell, and some people actually junk journal and use them. And if we have time, I'll show you mine. So, oh, hello, my CBFF. Okay, so today I am actually going to kind of go off of that. Hello, Sarah, off of our little charms and all of our dangles. Yes, dangles, and all of the trinkets that we put on our dangles. So I am making a Golden Book trinket box today, and we are using our beautiful little mermaid. And you hear that in there? That's all my trinkets. So we'll open the box and I'll kind of show you what that's about. Through the magic of Facebook, I've seen some of you struggle today, so I went ahead and took my book apart. Sorry, I cheated a little bit just because I didn't know if I was going to be here all day with it. So I have the Little Mermaid book, and ta-da! Now I have just the front cover. So I am using a cigar box. I did go ahead and already paint the cigar box because we all know that these are a heck of a time to paint. It probably would have took the whole live. So I just used plaster chalk paint on this. I did 2 coats, and then I just kind of made like a distressed blue to bring some of that mermaid and beachy colors out. But you could use whatever you want. So we are going to make a little junk journal trinket box. Now, for this trinket box, you don't necessarily have to, if you don't like the dangles or the keychains or, you know, the charms, that's okay. You can use this to collect all your pieces of ephemera, okay? And so is Mel still here? Mel, like, I have Pinocchio ephemera too. I loved your little Pinocchio ephemera. So this is another way that you can keep your ephemera in one place. If you have specifics, like you could make lots of different kinds of these. You can make one for kids. You can make one for your vintage. You can make one for your recipe ephemera, and just kind of stack them and keep them organized this way. So it's just a little something that, you know, just kind of adds to your eclectic. And you could also keep whatever charms that you may find or little trinkets. So I'm going to kind of go over the things that I have. You guys, back at Easter time, and I wanted to show you this, the Easter eggs, they had little shells. That is perfect for the Little Mermaid. So I have my little shells. And then in here, I also have real shells. Okay, and these are, I believe, from Dollar Tree. This is like one of those little glass bottles. I have lots of these. You could actually tie this to a junk journal charm and take that with you. And some buttons, which you could put on, you know, whatever. You can put it on string, or I use the hemp cord when I make these charms. Bad storms, yes. One just passed me, and I'm so glad it did. I'm so glad it's gone. I happen to have this little crab. He's very beachy, so he went with the Little Mermaid theme. If you want to make this into a charm, you can, or you can just kind of place it on your cover, or you could even put it on top of your box. I just kind of threw that in there to show you guys. And then here's an example of my ephemera. If I do have time, I'll show you how I made that. And then the other things I kind of put in here just to kind of go, I have my big paper clips. These are at Hobby Lobby. If you have like the little jewels, I have these, which are very, you know, fun. Sometimes you can find these little wood pieces that say things. And then I do have, these are actually at Hobby Lobby too. I just got like the beach ones. So these are like the shells, and like you could attach these in your junk journal as well as like that little crab. It just reminds me of Sebastian. And the other things I have in here, I don't know if you can see it. I have coins. I did find this little seahorse charm, which is super, super cute. Yes, they're all little treasures and trinkets. I found a flip-flop, which goes with like Florida, the beach, mermaids. My puppy is here to say hello. And then this is actually like a mermaid charm. So I love that as well. And of course, Little Mermaid is Disney. So I had to include a Disney like little button. And then keys. This is one of those little paper clips that are different like shapes. And then I have like a little wooden key, and I I also got a package of these. These are good to hold things, and then you can put anything on top of those as well. Hi, Kimmy, how are you? And there's my little, this reminds me of Hello Sunshine, like taking like a bag to the beach or on vacation. So it reminded me a little bit of, you know, Ariel and the Little Mermaid. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take some of this out for now. Actually, I'm going to stick them in one of my little bowls here. Just because when we're gluing this around, I don't want it flopping around in there. But again, whatever you collect, it just kind of keeps your things really cute and organized. So that's what we are doing today with our little golden book. So I'm going to put this to the side. And then I did actually grab some ribbon and I did try to get this all sorted. I know I need a fork. I was trying to find a tiny little like cocktail fork is what I need. Like my dingle hopper. And then I know somewhere in my Christmas stuff, I have like a corncob pipe, which would be like the other thing that Scuttle shows, but you know, I can't be perfect. All right. So like I said, I did already paint this box. It is a cigar box. Thank you to my husband. I did not paint the bottom, so you can kind of see what it looks like. And then I just did a little bit of the brush strokes on the side because we are going to cover the top. I am using my fabric tack, and I may use some of my Type Bond, but I'm not sure yet. Hi Tony, how are you? Okay guys, so what my method to my madness today is how am I, because obviously your book, you could put your book this way, but you have to look at, see, you have to really get the right size cigar box. Luckily my husband walked in there at the right time and they gave him like a handful of them. So I was very lucky. And when I found this size, it was perfect. So the method to my madness is I'm going to have it kind of going this way with opening this way like an actual book, because I think that would just make complete sense. If I do it any other way, it's gonna throw me off. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're gonna do first. So I'm gonna decorate the top of it just a little bit more, because when you take these books apart, they're not always gonna be perfect. Hi Mary Jane, hello Kathy. And sometimes they're gonna have this like rough edge on there. It might even start peeling. That is okay. We're gonna add just a little bit of frills and fun to it. And the way I'm gonna do that is I am using my ribbon. I got this at Hobby Lobby, but you can get this pretty much anywhere. Hi Sue, hi Tina, hi Lori. And then this just has like this little frill, and I was thinking, you know, Little Mermaid and her colors. She has a green tail, and then her shell bra is purple. So those are the colors that I'm going to pick to go with the book. I already kind of picked and measured. I'm going to put this on the very back of the book, just sticking out just a little bit, and I'm going to glue it so that my little pom-poms are sticking up, because there is a right and a wrong side to this, in my opinion. Some people don't see it, but I see it, but it's okay. So I'm going to kind of line this up because it's just a little bit thicker than my book, but I do want to keep, hi Sharon, hello Jamie. And there she is, Crafting Time with Jamie 2 is up after me, and then Dory's up after her. So I am going to keep that golden book because, hello, it's a golden book event, and we have to keep that part. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of line it up as best I can. And I'm going to go ahead and glue my ribbon down first, and then this on top. Okay. I think that's how I decided I wanted it. Yeah, because I want my golden book to show. And again, we can have it look tattered or whatever. Tattered, whatever it's called. Tattered, probably. It's so funny. Facebook keeps telling me that Jamie's watching over and over. I don't know what's going on with Facebook lately, you guys. It is crazy for me. Like, seriously. I don't need to know someone's watching over and over and over. But thank you for saying hello. Okay. So I think I have not tried fabric tack with the wood. If anybody has and it didn't do well, please let me know, but I'm just going to use it. Now, this glue tends to be very expensive. So I'm going to tell you this. Only put it where you absolutely need it. Obviously, you want to make sure that your stuff holds. And then as soon as you're done with it, put that, it'll store it. You put that top, don't let it dry out. Put that cap on right away. So now I'm just going to have it kind of go over the edge. Now, I'm not going to lay it on the side pieces because this top of the box is going to open. So I'm only going to attach it right where, and you can even test it just to make sure. Make sure you're not sticking a bunch of glue there. Hi, Terry. Hello, Pam, my sweet Pam. How are you? How's your hubby? How's Gracie? I hope everybody's doing well. Okay. Now, I know some of you have been watching this event and you saw how people, you know, took their books apart and everything. I did want to point out one thing. When I took the book apart, I did not cut it because most of the time with my other books, I do cut the binder part off. But some people leave the gold part on, and that's absolutely fine. It really depends on the age of your book and how they made them during that time period from wherever your book is from. This one did have the staples on it. So all I did was take, I have this little tool, and I pressed down my staples. Now, this is also going to go down on this. So I'm going to make sure I put it down pretty good here. Okay. So I'm just going to press down and then keep going. So I probably will use the Type Bond for this part. I'm thinking I'm going to use the Fabric Tech for this part. So never made one of these before. You guys are catching a unique first time, but I'm going to go ahead and just put my glue on my book and then lay it where I want it to go. I need to watch the replays. Work life. I had to watch, I think I missed a few people, like almost the entire live. I did watch, I just couldn't comment because I had phone calls, and of course I didn't get to see every single little detail. And you know, that's just work life, and that's just what we do, right, Sandy? I know you know all about that recently. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go for it and go all the way to the edge. And I'm probably even using a little too much, but that is okay. I want to make sure it's on there really good. And I am going to use my finger and just kind of spread it around a little bit. And because sometimes this glue will get all clumpy, and you don't want it clumpy in one spot. You could even use, I've seen people use this the Type Bond with a brush, and I have a baby wipe, so I'm going to wipe my hands when I'm done. You don't want to be too long though, because this stuff does dry pretty well. Keeping Crafty with Sandy. So happy! Yes! Did you learn how to say her name yet, or do you call her something else? I want to know that answer. I don't know if you talked about it on your live, because I missed your live lately. But I want to know, have you learned to say her name yet? Her name is Quinn, right? Sandy, I miss you. I think we all miss you. Okay. Put my top on to preserve. Now, I'm going to go ahead and flip this up. And we're going to lay it down. And it is okay if we leave a little bit of on the edge, because we're going to do something fun with the edge as well. So I'm going to go ahead. No, I still say Harley Quinn. You'll get it. You'll get it eventually, Sandy. I promise. Okay. So I'm going to let this dry for just a few minutes. And I think we're doing good on time. So if we run, if we kind of get through with this, which I'm pretty sure we are, there is something that we're going to make to go in here. And it is this golden book related. So I'm going to go ahead and have this, you guys are going to laugh at this. This is what I put my daughter's junk journal in because she loves Stitch. And that's her junk journal that I made from the golden book. So I'm gonna put this on top just to kind of hold it in place for a minute. We'll leave it there for just a couple seconds. While we're waiting for that to kind of dry, I can show you this little piece of ephemera that I made. This is kind of like a little junk notebook type thing. Sorry, that wasn't intact. Now I usually staple these, but my stapler is acting really funny and doesn't want to work for me today. But what I did was I took little scraps, and this is like a doily. I took little scraps and just kind of put them in this random order. And this is going to go inside of that, or it can go in whatever junk journal. I made this beach theme to kind of go with the Trinket Box, but this is just another cute little piece of ephemera. I did forget to talk about this yesterday. And then this is a piece of envelope, and then you can actually pull that piece out of the envelope. And then here's some more pieces, and they're very random, but they look so cute. And look, I found a King Triton. It goes with a little mermaid. And then I just kind of put this little doily on it to kind of hold it in place. But like I said, my stapler isn't working, so I had to use, you know, my obnoxious paper clip. There's definitely some thunder going on. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and let's see how we are. I think we're good to keep working with it. I think we're good to keep working with it because it's not going anywhere. It's kind of in place. Let me just make sure it's not going to fall. There we go. So there we are. Now I'm going to just have fun with the edges just a little bit more. So like I said, we're using it's not quite straight, but that's okay. It works. It opens. That's the main part. So I'm going to go ahead and use this thinner piece, and I'm just going to glue it on the edges of my box. So you see how my box has like these edges on the side? I'm just going to deck out the sides of them. I hope you guys are loving this, because I thought of this and I was like, oh, this is going to be so cute. And it's all junk journal related. It's part of the journey, is collecting. And I'm telling you, it was so funny when when Mel said today, you get addicted to paper crafts, she was not kidding, you guys. Not kidding at all. I'm not seeing any. Is anybody else is everybody just not commenting? You're just paying attention? Because nobody's commenting right now. That's okay. I can't see them. And that's probably what it is. It's probably just Facebook. All right, I'm just going to use my fabric tack and just do a nice little thin line all the way across. And I'm going to go ahead and line it up where it needs to be. Pushing it down firmly. You're here, Pam? Okay. I'm just making sure. Now I am using my pinking shears just so it kind of gives it a little bit more finished edge. So there's that. And then I'm going to do the same thing to this side. I think you're here also, Tony. Okay, good. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this up because I want this part. Well, no, we'll just do it like that. That's fine. I'm going to pull it up just a tiny bit. There we go. It's okay if it gets caught in there a little bit, as long as it's on the edge. Nola, I watched some of her lives and it's drawing me to do those mini journals. I'm still working and watching. Oh my gosh, Sandy. I don't know. Or do you ever sleep, woman? Like, I just want to know. I think we're all dying to know. Do you ever sleep? Because I don't know how you sleep. I just don't know. All right. I'm going to go ahead and lift this up and then put it down. I think that's how we're going to do it. So again, just a little bit on the edge. And you can use whatever ribbon or bric-a-brac, whatever you have. Whatever you have will work. And then I'm just going to put a little tiny bit more on this side. I do get the bigger bottle at Walmart. I think that's the cheapest I've seen it. Also, the other option is to use art glitter glue. Now, I got this bottle. It doesn't come with a pin. It comes with an actual cap, and it works just as well. And this was only like $6 or $7. I think the other one with the pin costs usually around $10. But it is worth the money if it's gonna hold. But I can tell you my absolute favorite glue in the world is this right here. It's the Scotch glue stick, wrinkle-free. And it holds fabric on almost just about everything. So, all right, guys, so there's our box. How do you like it so far with our little golden book? Now, you could choose to put a little like knob on here. You can put the little feet on here. That would look really cute. If you like paint some beads with it. Probably not gonna worry about the bottom. This one's probably gonna be mine to collect my ephemera pieces stuff. But I do want to put something else because I can see now that I'm looking at it, I put it on just a tad bit crooked. So I'm gonna hide that by putting a little something here. So I was thinking we could do either, I don't have a little one of the purple, otherwise I would use it. I could possibly cut it. Let's see. Do you like it, Sarah? I'm so glad you like it. Okay. We could do a little piece. Let me see. I'm going to use my pinking shears again. I could cut it. I'm going to see what it looks like. And if we don't like it, we can always use something else. I'm going to cut it right down the middle. And that's one thing with any type of washi tape or ribbon, you could always cut it to make it to the size that you need. That's what I do like about like wide ribbon in itself. Okay, so we could put that there, or we could put it like that. Or I found some of this. Hello, Stephanie. So we could also put that on there as well to kind of hide it too. That I kind of like, but I may cut it and just put a little bit more of that green and blue to match the book. I'm not sure. Or we could just do this again. It's really up to you guys. This actually doesn't look bad to do it like that because it looks more even. I think we'll just go ahead and stick with the original green. It doesn't look bad. And you could use this for something else. You can use this for a tag or whatever you want. Okay, Sarah, while I'm gluing this down, I have to say, I saw your little sale that you have. Girl, you did good getting whatever that is. Whoever you got that from, you got a good deal. I will probably message you next week if you still have some left. You guys, Sarah had some packs for sale for paper pieces with Crafted Freedom. So if you're interested, hit her up. I'm just saying. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and lay this piece down just to kind of make it so it's looking a little less crooked. Like I said, it's my first one. All right. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit of glue right here just to kind of tack that down. Actually, hold on. I'm probably going to cut that part because I don't want to attach it. Tack it down to just the top piece. There we go. So now you can even store it like this. I mean, obviously, if you have ephemera in it, it'll be fine. If you have trinkets in it, just be careful. I wouldn't store it like this. But now it looks like an actual journal that you open. It's an actual book that you open up, right? Isn't that cute? Okay, so we have one more thing that we're gonna do with the inside of it now. So I did distress the inside a little bit. I put some of that blue paint to match the sides. By the way, if you can't tell, this is my favorite princess. Okay, so some of you that have been following me know that I recently went into an antique place and I found this is from the 90s. It is Little Mermaid wallpaper, still in the package. So we're gonna open it. We're gonna break this baby open. I'm gonna move my box for a moment. And I'm actually going to use part of this wallpaper and put it on the inside of my box. Okay, so let me get this off. This was it was actually less than $5 because they priced it at $4.95 and then they put the price, it was like an extra 15% off or something like that. Now, I am trying to keep this a little bit intact. Something else we have in common, Miss Sandra. Okay. I'm going to be really careful here because it may be a little bit brittle because it is old. It is vintage. I can't get in my mind that stuff from the 90s is now considered vintage. Like anything over 20 years old is considered vintage. So even the year 2005 is considered, my daughter's considered vintage. I should mess with her about that. I'd be like, hey, you're considered vintage. You know that? Don't go making fun of your kids, but I'm just saying, if she makes me mad, I'm just going to tell her she's vintage. But I just still, I don't know, parts of me are very, I'm a big kid. Hello, Miss Megan. Parts of me are still a kid and, oh my gosh, look at it. It's got everybody on. Oh my gosh, look, now I have to show you guys this. I didn't realize this until we're here now, right? Look at this. It's got the castle on it and Sebastian and Scuttle. Isn't that cute? I'm extremely vintage. Oh, Connie. That's funny. I'm not laughing at you, dear. I'm laughing with you. I'm just gonna use the mermaid because I don't want to cut it up too much. And it is gonna be pretty wide, so I'm probably not gonna put her tail in it. Thank you for opening the craft box. Oh, you'll have to message her, Susan. She's got a good deal going right now. I'm just saying it. Since we're doing a book and journal event, if we've inspired anybody, I'll send some people your way. Okay. So I'm sure there's a way to peel this, but I'm not going to do that. I am just going to, let me see. I think there's probably instructions on here somewhere. Maybe not. But I'm not going to take this apart anymore. We're going to keep this kind of intact. But what I'm thinking is I'm going to cut her out just a little bit more, like a fussy cut, and then just kind of put her right on there. There you go. There you go. Okay, so I'm just going to fussy cut. And if you're not sure what fussy cutting is, it basically is a very detailed cut. Oh, you guys, I just noticed my fabric tack. I'm sitting here preaching and I'm not doing it. You need... Oh, no. What did I do? Sometimes Christy, sometimes Christy is extra helpful. All right, so while I'm doing this, has everybody followed the herd that is not in the herd? And has everybody enjoyed today's event? I was super excited when I was asked to do the event because this is all new to me too, and I absolutely love it. It is my life right now. and especially the little golden books. They're my favorite ones to do. Oops, I started cutting Ariel's arm. Is double vintage considered an antique? That's funny, you're ancient. You guys are so funny. I think it means more of like materials and not people, you guys. But, you know, we can have a good laugh. You know, in this crazy world, we all need a good laugh. I try to be a little bit of your medicine. I don't care if people laugh, as long as you're not being, you know, mean about it. I try to get people to laugh. I think it's important that we remain humorous and loving in that sense. Okay, so look, you guys, it's gonna go right in here so perfectly, and I think it's gonna be such a cute addition to this. You could even do like ribbon around the middle part. You could do a background scrapbook paper with it. I mean, you could do whatever, but I'm just gonna do plain. I'm gonna be a little plain tonight because we got 20 minutes. Okay. So I think I'm going to, well, let's just go ahead and let's just do Mod Podge on this, just because I'm not really sure how that's probably way too much, but it's okay. I'm not really sure how the wallpaper is gonna do because I've never used wallpaper before. I don't know many people that wallpaper anymore. By the way, this is a popcorn bucket and I use it to hold my paintbrushes. It works perfectly. All right, so I'm just gonna do my little edges here. Might just need a little bit more. It seems like the wallpaper is soaking in the Mod Podge quite a bit, but we'll see here in just a second. I'm gonna have to do this kind of standing up because, oh, look how cute she is in here, you guys. I didn't have this wallpaper when I was a kid, but I sure would have loved it. I had lots of toys when I was a kid. My grandmother kind of spoiled me. So, okay. We're gonna go in the bottom here. I didn't have a lot of wall space. I just had a lot of shelving with toys. And part of that wall space was all of those trolls I told you guys about. Remember I was talking about that the other day? I had like every troll made. And I don't even know if I have any left. I've just moved so much with my children and my ex-husband that I just kind of lost a lot of it. I was able to keep some of it though. Okay. So we'll let this dry, of course. But I think this is so cute. So you're a Disney fan as well. I love Disney and I'm 50. Yes, girl. You know, I almost wore my Disney ears. I'm in Florida and I live close enough to Disney. I mean, it's now, I think it's 2 hours now. It used to be 90 minutes, but what's an extra 30 minutes? I just put the good soundtrack on and go. You love this idea, Mel. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I hope I made you proud. Okay. So, like I said, you can keep your little trinkets in here. And remember, we have our little shell. Okay. That's one way. So for all the things that you're going to make your junk journal charms or your dangles, like Miss Connie said, dangles. I love the way you said that. So I am going to go ahead and create one now with you so you guys know what I mean. New project, right, Mel? Yes, I know. I like to be different too, so that's why I was like, because I do my junk journals on Tuesday. We do different things. Usually we're doing them like two Tuesdays out of the month, but we'll probably start doing it almost every Tuesday. But let me show you guys what I mean. So I've made these, and well, actually I'll show you my daughter's first. I'll have to be cautious of time because we have 15 minutes left, but we'll get it done. Okay, so This is my daughter's golden book. I made it for her birthday. And there's her little happy birthday. That's a picture of us seeing Lilo and Stitch, the movie that just came out, hence the little popcorn bucket up there. And I made her a junk journal charm with Stitch on it. And then we do the dangles. And then the only thing this is missing is a Brad in the middle, but I did like the little picture on there. And then inside, there's just different things that she can, like there's beach things, there's pockets, and I even included, the movie theater was giving out coloring sheets to the kids. You know, I grabbed that bad boy, and I included the coloring sheet and the tickets from the movie theater, and that's what that coloring sheet is. And then I happened to find some chip clips, and I put a chip clip up there. But this is very similar to what we're making. We're gonna make something a little different. So that's hers. I already gave it to her. So I made these on live last night. Was it last night, you guys? I think it was. So these could also hang on the side of your book, and then you could keep your, you could just make a bunch of these. You can do it with anything. These I made with the little doorables. There's Peter Pan. Unfortunately, I have a haul to land or world. LA, California. Oh, so were you Disneyland? Yeah, you do have a haul either way, but it makes it more special when you do visit, right? There's Belle, and there's Miss Wendy. So I had this one picked out last night, and I was like, okay, we're gonna do this one. So it goes with our golden book. It's little Flounder, so we're gonna do Flounder. And basically all you need some tools, like your little like pliers, like jewelry tools. And I'll show you the two that I use. You need some wire. I usually do 18 gauge, sometimes 20, depending. And then you need, where'd it go? Where did you go? Where did you go? You need an eyelet, which I usually get at Hobby Lobby. You grew up in Anaheim? Oh my gosh, you are right there. And then you also need a little push pin or hand drill, whatever you have. And the only thing that I realized that I'm missing now is one of these little charms at the end, but that's okay. And then I have some things. So I'm gonna make one of these for you real quick, and then it'll be time to see Miss Jamie by the time we're done. So I do want to point this out. I was talking about this a little bit last night. So with Flounder, unfortunately, he has like this little fin, because obviously he's a, you too, Liz? That's so funny. Welcome, you guys. It's so funny, you guys were neighbors. There's a fin on the top, so it's basically right at the top. So what we're gonna have to do with this charm is put it to one of his sides. So he's gonna be a little like side swimming, almost like Nemo. So I did grab some beads, and I have a little starfish bead, which is super cute. I have a Disney bead, and then we will do, let's do a yellow one because it matches him. So usually I put about maybe 3-4 beads depending, and you can make them onto like the longer ones, or you can make the shorter ones. It's really up to you guys, whatever you want to do. I have lots of beads, and I've been making my little beady things for about 3 years now. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and we're just gonna go for it. I'm gonna put it in the middle into the side because he has that fin. And all I'm gonna do is kind of push this push pin in just a little bit. I know, I always feel so bad at this part. But I'm gonna push it in, and I'm not gonna push it in all the way, but I'm gonna push it in enough. Enough to where that eyelet is gonna wanna go in. Okay, and then I'll take my little eyelet, And I still don't have a hack for how to get these eyelets out just one at a time because they always want to pour out. Oh, look at that. It worked. There was the thunder. Hopefully I don't lose power. This is already dark here. All right, so I'm just going to push. This one's a little bit hard because that fin is kind of in the way of my finger. But I'm going to go ahead and push that in and twist. And you could always use your pliers if it helps. Most of your like characters, charms, or whatever aren't going to have like that fin on top, but you know, it's Flounder, so he's got his fin on top. So I hope you guys like what you see today. And if you're not following me, I hope you give me a follow. I love doing this, and I do have a daytime job, but I love to do, oh, I grabbed the wrong eyelets, guys, hold on. Those are not my favorite eyelets to use, or jump rings, my bad. Jump rings is what I'm talking about. There we go, I'll just use that one. I do have a full-time job, so I'm usually on in the evening, sometime on the weekend, not a whole lot on the weekend, but that's okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my little jump ring through here. I know some of you are like, she just did this yesterday, but that's okay, guys. All right, I'm getting ahead of myself because now I got to get my wire out. Oh, I have 10 minutes, so I'll have just enough time to show. All right, so I'm going to get my little cutters. Don't go anywhere. And I'm just going to give myself about 3 inches of wire. You don't even need that much, depending how many beads you're going to put on. You'd love to do the charms. I know some of you saw me do these last night, so you're like, what the heck? But I promise, it's always fun. I'm telling you, they're addicting. Hello, Miss Becca. Hello, Bex. How are you? All right, so now, I did do this wrong. We don't put the jump ring on here. We put the wire on here. Sorry, guys. I'm jumping ahead of myself. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and hold those two together and then use the other pair. I use flat and a round pair of pliers, and we're just going to twist it. And if you guys are asking about the characters, you could pretty much use any like littles. I've seen people use like the little mini brands with this and things like that. So whatever you guys will want to do. All right, now I gotta put my little yellow bead on here. Then I'm gonna put my little starfish because it's very beachy, like, you know, the beach. And then I am going to put a green. I have these little Disney beads. Of course, this one isn't open. Sorry for the interruption. I'm so glad you're doing good, girl. I'm gonna do one of my Mickey beads because it's Disney. I'll put a Mickey bead on the top. Okay, I'm hurrying. Now I'm using my round one and I'm gonna just kind of twist this and make a little, like, just like a little hole. And that's where I'm gonna put my actual jump ring into. Now, for kids, you definitely want to make sure you either tuck that little piece of wire in or you cut it very, very, to where it's not, this kind of helps it with the sharpness of it. Yes, I know, it's crazy. I feel like you guys heard that, right? Oh, my poor dogs. Yes, it's crazy here. I'm in the back room too, so you can hear it even more. Like, oh, all right, we're almost done. All right, so all I did was put that through both of the holes of my little keychain thing and my jump ring. And then I'm gonna kind of close them back together. You guys will drop this probably about 5 times before you get used to it. Trust me, it happens to me all the time. So now we have a little dangler for our junk journal. And now it looks perfect. Okay, couple other things, because we have a few more minutes and I want to make sure that we, you know, give Jamie all the time so she has enough time to prep. So this would go if you had we're just going to pretend. So you could put this on one of these. You could put it on a little paper clip, or you could put it on like my daughter's. These are the ones I do have. It's more of like a book charm type thing. I did do different ones. I did like David Cassidy. And look, you guys, I did a Bobby Sherman one. R.I.P. Bobby Sherman. And this one is like Linda Ronstadt. So these are more of like the dangly ones. So that way that can just go right in your book, okay? Just like this. Or I did do another one. This is actually my junk journal. As you can see, I'm actually journaling. I actually found these little bows, and like that's one of my favorite movies right there. So I put Lady on it, and then that just kind of tucks right into your journal. So that is just another way to do it. Some people have already seen that, but I'm just showing you all of the options that you could do. So now we have our little ephemera pieces, or our little loved Bobby Sherman. I know my aunt did too. Hello, Carolyn. It's okay. I know. I'm right by the window. You guys probably saw me jump or saw it go off. Okay, we're gonna finish up, I promise. So now we have our little junk for our little trinket trays, or our little charms, anything that you want to use for a charm, or you can keep your ephemera pieces in here. Like I had. I usually keep them in sleeves, and I kind of try to have them organized, but yes, I know, right? Woo! But that is our little box. It's not, let's see. It's not closing all the way because this is that's a little thick, but, and then you can keep it all together like that. So, or you can keep ATC cards in here. You can keep whatever you want in here, you guys. It's pretty awesome. But that was my idea, and it actually worked out, so I'm super excited. The only other thing that I would do is, I was thinking about this, like if I could, I know you guys, I'm like scared. I'm in Florida, Liz. I'm in Tampa Bay area. The captions say thunder. I have my earbud in, and that's awesome. Oh, your earbud in, and that's awesome. So you heard it? Or are you talking about my craft? I don't know what you mean, Dory. You're talking about that? Oh yeah, the thunder and the lightning, I know. This would be the only other thing. Like you could put like a little like thing on the top, on this side, and see how that would look. At just like, you can even make this into like a little jewelry box if you wanted. It'd be super cute. But there's my there's my little golden book junk journaling trinket box today. All right, what do I have? I have 3 minutes. Okay. We're gonna be careful. It's fine. Trust me, this is like every day in Florida. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. So I have 3 minutes. I'll go ahead and show you guys my, oh, you love the thunder, Dory? You can stay in. You can stay and come enjoy my thunder. Okay, I have 3 minutes, so I'm gonna go, or 2 minutes, so I'll go ahead and do a quick flip through of this. I know I already kind of did, but I'll show you guys a little bit more details, just so we can give Jamie her time. All right, so like I said, this is the front cover, and I put the happy birthday in there just so it's, and that's us at the theater. And then I did find, obviously, I found a book on Elvis. So I've been making this on my page too. Some of you may have seen some of this. Because Lilo and Stitch, you know, she loves Elvis. These are little cupcake toppers. Oh, the craft is awesome too. Thank you, Dory. And then of course I added, you know, this is actually from a different book. And there's the coloring sheets. This flamingo was speaking to me and it needed to go in the book. And then these are the different pictures. And then of course I did a journaling page with the same type of flower. Those are at Hobby Lobby, by the way. In the shell is cute. I know they were Easter eggs. They were in the Easter egg section. I just happened to keep them out because I'm in Florida. We do shells, everything. And this is what I mean by, I took 2 pieces of scrapbook paper and I just glued them together. So I made double-sided, and it also makes it more, you know, supporting. So, but that's pretty much it. So you guys can have so much fun with these as best as you can. I mean, here's my little library card with that little, this is an old Valentine. It's a Lilo and Stitch Valentine. And then, like I said, now she has her clip to match. But I'm almost out of time, you guys. So I am going to go away from this window and go eat some dinner now. I hope you guys enjoyed this craft. And I want to thank the herd again. All of you guys are great. Thank you so much again for having me. And it was super fun. And just make sure you guys go follow the herd and watch all the replays from today because they did awesome. I love you guys. Bye.